A Life Less Lived, the Gothic Box, comes out Tuesday. We're continuing to chat with Peter Murphy and Gerard Way. And Peter, back in the day when you formed Bauhaus, did you ever think that you would be considered a pioneer, the godfather of goth?
It's something I knew when, the moment we plugged in, I did have an instinct, I must admit, that this was really the real deal. Whatever that was going to turn out to be like. But that also speaks about how I feel about when I step into the space on stage. And I think that's a book in itself in what a performer, how he can achieve that sort of enormous sort of energy and control over an audience without really knowing why or how. But I mean, certainly I feel that great sense of certainty when I walk on stage about what it is that I'm there for and what I'm going to do.
And you were saying something interesting to Gerard about being a rock star.
Well, I think we were talking about playing with irony in a way that's not cynical, that's positively a part of the creative process when you get, for instance, in a situation where you're on tour and you have to step into the shoes or play a song again and again and again. Not always play it again, but you have to confront repetition, and also you have to confront like an audience's projection on who you are and what it is, and that can fix you and limit you. And suddenly you find yourself being a performing monkey for all these other people's, the exterior. So we talked about irony and playing with that irony of iconography and making that part of the experience as a device, really.
And another thing I like about the Gothic Box is that this is going to open up various debates. And we've always had them like, oh, this band's not goth, this band's on the fringe of goth. So, I mean, do you guys ever find yourselves defending certain bands or writing other bands off?
Well, it's very hard to categorize who and what is goth. I mean, as Peter said, it was like this moment in time where it happened in this one part of London, and it was basically these bands self-expressing themselves, and it's always really been, the best music's always been about self-expression. So, but now it's kind of a thing, and after a while, then the copycats come, and then the copycats of the copycats, and then it gets to a point where you don't know what's goth anymore. But I actually think there's some very good selections on there.
I do love, like, the Cocteau's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Joy Division, the Bunnymen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
That's another one everyone always argues about.
I mean, really very, and they would completely say, what the fuck are you on about? Excuse me, but they would say, goth, we're not goth, we're from Manchester, you kind of boof. Really though, it's like, I know, don't tell me, get off of me, you know what I mean? It's like that. So it's like, they're kind of like, the prescient, Coldplay were very influenced by it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Massive Attack, Bjork, other artists were influenced by us. I'm not saying there was a copycat element, but there's much more of a diverse thing. But we're really talking about the Gothic sort of label, and there's no smoke without fire. So I'm trying to work out what sums it up, really. It can't be just about like a bit of makeup and like a dark lyric, whatever. There's got to be more to it than that. But when I hear that, it's kind of like deja vu. I was there. It's not how it appears here, but actually this is how it appears now. So it has its own context that we have to work out somehow. I'll be poured out my... But you look real. It's like I'm going, oh, you like... And
I am! Technicalities of the behind the camera world.
Man.
Hi.
Gerard had a question.
That's not a criticism.
I'm really interested to find out what's next for Bauhaus. I mean, that's
Bauhaus this last year, since Coachella in 2005, April, we've been revisiting the world audience to remind them that we exist as an entity and not as some sort of myth in the background. So that's been the main focus, and we've been writing a lot too. So we have a lot of material. So I think now's the time. We've stopped touring, and now's the time to make that quantum leap into new material and a new sort of chapter, if you like, on on the band with new stuff. So that's what's happening right now.
That's really exciting. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that will be very excited about that. I mean, what can you say about it so far, or if you can?
Well, you know, my whole effort with the band is, and I was the one leading the reformation. Just to now, what I know about us is we're like a bunch of hens stuck in a metal room squawking. Unless you corner us and stop us debating what it is, well, you know, we do want to do it or don't want to do it. You just have to corner us and plug us in. That's literally what happened. We got into the studio, and it was immediate. So there was no need to talk about it.
That's great.
So I mean, it really was alive and kicking, and so that's why it's an ongoing thing. So Gerard, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
And this will link with what labels are about. Because when you started to write a song, when you started your band, My Chemical Romance, did you have a thesis on what you were going to be, who you were? You had a defined idea of what you were that you would then speak up and sort of almost like a political agenda?
I think the agendas kind of came later, but we had a definite, and I think you guys had us. Like, you remember before when you were saying you just knew when you plugged it in?
Yeah, and it's not a mind thing, is it? It's not.
No. You just plug it in, and right away we had our first practice, and I knew something special. I knew it was something very special.
But the identity is not, though, in the head, is it?
Not. It has to develop through your songs, and the more the songs come out, then you get this really strong sense of identity. You know, I knew that I wanted to tell stories. I knew that I didn't want to sing about girlfriends, breakups, the typical punk things. You know. And I knew we wanted to be different. I knew, and we were like the black sheep in New Jersey. We were the only ones wearing black. We were the only ones wearing makeup. So it was exciting for that brief moment in New Jersey where we were like that, and we were different. And I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to help people. I knew that. I knew I wanted to help people get through really hard things.
I think so there is a common thread in that there is reaching out to be unique and to express uniqueness without necessarily paying lip service to norms or a commercial sort of approach.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the presence since the punk period, really. And before that, you get the American expression, where you get sort of, the Ramones, Patti Smith, Talking Head, all that sort of stuff. But that was like in its own little way. MC5, Stooges and stuff. But like in England, it happened in one hit, and then it just like exploded.